How to go from no contact to marriage or a relationship. Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to my channel. This is Priya, your manifestation coach. And in this video, I'm going to break down how you can go from no contact to marriage or a fully committed relationship with your specific person. But first, if you are somebody who would like some accountability, some inspiration, if you would really like to stay on top of your manifestation game and stay consistent to manifest anything that your heart desires, I offer monthly membership coaching. This is where you can get weekly live coaching with me, plus have your questions answered by me in real time. You can get access to this by clicking the link below in the description box. I also offer an online course, Manifest Your SP Mastery, that you can get instant access to by also clicking the link below in the description box. And finally, I also offer one-on-one coaching to help you manifest anything that your heart desires. Again, you can get access to this by also clicking the link below in the description box. Okay, let's get back to this video. How to go from no contact to marriage or a fully committed relationship with your specific person. Now, this video is actually answering one of you guys' questions in the comment section, which was really great. So the question was really around, because I share a lot of videos on how to manifest a specific person, because that's the main thing that you guys asked for. And one of the questions that I got was, but does this apply to if we're in no contact? So I wanted to make a video specifically based on no contact. So number one, you want to remember that no contact is a circumstance, okay? It's a circumstance, effectively, and circumstances don't matter. And the reason why they don't matter will become very clear to you by the end of this video, because I first want to start with some basics and then build it up to why the no contact is actually irrelevant. So first, let's start with where you're at, meaning, the human mind wants to say, well, we're in no contact right now. So how can it be that my specific person is going to want to marry me or they're going to want to be in a relationship with me, right? The logical human mind wants to say, this is impossible, right? Because at least if we were in contact, then, at least we would be talking and we would be getting to know each other. But because we're in no contact, there's worry and doubt. Well, then how are they going to love me? How are they going to like me? They're not seeing me, right? So the human mind thinks linearly. The human mind thinks, well, if we are in no contact, then that means first we need to get into contact. Then we need to start talking. Then we can spend some time with each other. Then we can get in a relationship. That's the linear human mind. But the truth is, manifestation is not linear. Manifestation is multi-dimensional. You're shifting parallel realities, and I'll come to that in a second, right? So that's not how it works. It doesn't work like that at all. That's the human mind that wants to be logical, okay? And so, for a lot of people, they're in fear when they're in no contact because they just can't think, well, how's it going to happen? Because they're thinking logically. So firstly, my message is you want to get logic out of your mind. Manifestation is not logic, okay? And you're going to understand why in a second. So now let's talk about how manifestation actually works and how you can manifest, whether that's marriage or a commitment from your specific person, even though you're in no contact. So all you have to do is think as if you are the version of you that is married or in a committed relationship with your specific person. That's it. Just think as if. You do that through affirmations. Remember that affirmations are just the thoughts that you are thinking, okay? Every time you're thinking a thought, you are affirming. And on average, we are thinking 70,000 thoughts a day, which means you are affirming at least 70,000 times a day. So the question is, what are you affirming? So the idea is you want to come up with affirmations that imply your end. So for example, it could look something like me and my specific person are happily married, or we're in a happy committed relationship. I'm always loved. I'm always prioritized. I'm always chosen. I'm always worthy. Always have self-concept in there because you always want to know your value and your worth for you. Plus an affirmation that implies the end of what it is that you want. Right, so once you have your affirmations, all you have to do is saturate your subconscious mind with these new stories so that these new stories become dominant within you. And now note, I said dominant. Dominant means you're telling the new story more than you're telling the old story, right? The old story being SB hates me, SB doesn't want to be with me, SB rejected me, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, whatever that is for you, okay? That's the old story, okay? Oh, we're in no contact, old story. The idea is you make the new story dominant within you. So when this new story becomes dominant within you, your subconscious mind has to produce proof of this to you in your 3D reality. This is when your specific person will now show up as the version that wants to be in a committed relationship with you or wants to be married to you. It's that simple. That is how it works. Now let's go a little bit into the quantum side of it and parallel realities and what is actually going on when you're affirming. So when you are affirming, you are aligning yourself with a different version of your you are aligning yourself with a different version of your specific person. Okay, there are infinite versions of your specific person that exist with different intentions, different desires, beliefs, and emotions. right? Infinite versions of them. So there's a version of your specific person that only wants to be friends with you, that is married to you, that's in a relationship with you, or that hates you and doesn't want to be with you. All these different infinite versions of reality exist. Creation's finished. You're never creating anything. All you are doing when you are affirming is you are simply aligning yourself with a version of your specific person that already thinks, feels, and acts in accordance to what it is that you have been affirming. You're simply aligning with that timeline. You're not creating anything. That version of your specific person in that timeline already wants to be with you, already wants to marry you. You're the one that they want to be with. Okay. So when you're affirming, you're simply selecting that version of your specific person. So how this works is, when you manifest a version of your specific person that you desire, you've literally shifted into another timeline. And that version of your specific person always wanted to be with you. So it's not 1 minute they didn't want to be with you, which in the 3D, that's what it looks like. And then now they do. In that specific timeline, that version of your specific person always wanted to be with you. Okay. So when they show up in the 3D, the way in which it unfolds could look logical, right? It could. It doesn't have to, where the 3D human mind wants to say, oh, my specific person had a change of mind and a change of heart, because 1 minute they were like, I don't want to be with you. And the next minute they reach out to you and they're like, you know what? I've missed you so much. All of my life, I want to be with you. Okay. So from a 3D perspective, it looks like, oh, they had a change of mind and a change of heart. But that's not really what was going on, right? That's linear thinking. What's happening is you're in a new timeline where this version of your specific person always wanted to be with you from the beginning. And in the 3D, it will unfold in a way which looks natural. So maybe they say to you something like, when they come back to you, oh, you know what? I was really confused before, or I was really angry before, but you're the love of my life and I want to be with you and you're the one for me. It could look something like that. It doesn't have to, or it could even be illogical. It could just be that they don't even remember the argument or why you fell out, but they're just coming to you saying, you love my life and I want to be with you. And they don't remember the shit that you remember because again, you're in a different timeline. There's no one way in which this will look. I'm just giving you some examples here, okay? But my main message is that you are in a different version of reality where this version of your specific person always wanted to be with you. So it's not, oh, they didn't want to be with me and now they do. No. You're in a new timeline. And that's really the message here. That's what's going on. Okay. So just because you're in no contact, that's irrelevant. Okay. Because I know that the human mind wants to say, no, but we're in no contact. So how can it happen? It doesn't fucking matter, because you are in a new timeline where, as long as you keep affirming, that version of your specific person always wanted to be with you. And that's why they will show up like fully conformed, if that's, what you want. If you're living in the end and you're saying we're happily married and we're in a relationship, so 1 minute you're in no contact, whether that's a year, 3 months, 2 weeks or whatever, and the next minute they're like, hey, you're the love of my life, I want to be with you. That's how it works. As long as you keep persisting in the end and you keep saturating your subconscious mind with the story that implies, me and my SP are happily married, we're in a happy committed relationship, SP loves me, SP can't get enough of me, I'm always prioritized, I'm always chosen, I am lovable. As long as you keep living in that end, your specific person will show up that way in your 3D reality. And that's why no contact is irrelevant, right? You got to get it out of your head that this needs to happen linearly. First, we need to get in contact. Then he needs to spend some time with me. Then no, okay? They can just come back. And I've seen this so many times, not only in my own experience, but even with clients where like that person just comes back fully conformed. Like, oh my God, I always wanted to be with you. It was always you. I was just confused before. I was really angry before. Or, being away from you made me realize how much actually I do love you and that you're love of my life. Okay. Like this is how it happens. So if you're in no contact right now, I know it can be challenging. I know it can be hard, but it doesn't have to be. That's a choice. Okay. You want to actually use this time wisely, use it to your advantage, because the advantage is right now you don't have your specific person in front of you. Triggering you, right? Because ultimately your old assumption is what's dominant right now, right? The old assumption that says, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, SP hates me, SP doesn't want me. And you're instilling a new assumption right now through repetition, through your affirmations. Initially, your old assumptions are what is dominant, okay? So because your old assumption is dominant, you're going to be triggered, right? I haven't heard from them, I'm not seeing movement or whatever. Okay, you're going to be triggered. But the more you persist in the new story and you saturate your subconscious mind with the new story so that you become the version of you that has it, you're going to be triggered less and less. And personally for me, I think that's easier when your SP isn't in your presence, because when they are, you then have to deal with being triggered by them because maybe they're acting like an asshole, whatever it is that they're doing that you don't like, because your old assumption is still dominant. You're going to have to deal with those triggers. You see what I mean? Whereas if you go in no contact, it's such a beautiful opportunity for you not to have to deal with that and just fully immerse yourself by going within and saturating your subconscious mind with the new story so that you become the version of you that has your specific person. So you can use that time really wisely. It's so much easier, right? And I've seen this so many times even with clients, and it doesn't have to be, right? Because it's different for everybody. I'm just saying use it to your advantage if you are in no contact, okay? Because I don't want to put that out there as a limiting belief that actually it's easier or whatever, but I'm just saying use it to your advantage, because some people are fine with having their SP in their life and watching them conform because they're really on top of their mental game and they got it going on, and that's all good. So they're not triggered when they're seeing something that they don't like. But use it to your advantage, okay? If you're in no contact, build yourself up, go all in with your affirmations, saturate your subconscious mind with that new story. Versus sometimes what I've seen is when people are in contact with a specific person, they're getting triggered left, right, and center because they're like, oh, specific person didn't message me today. Or they're constantly like checking their phone to see if specific person messaged or not, right? Constantly looking for validation in 3D, which really prevents, and that's like their dominant state. So it prevents them from manifesting their SP, because the dominant state is that they are constantly looking to the 3D for validation. Why hasn't he messaged me? And they're triggered like every single fucking minute because SP hasn't messaged yet, or SP said this, or, and that's a vicious cycle. And that comes from you haven't done self-concept work yet, where you know your value and your worth and all the things. So it's just easier to actually have that time for yourself to actually be able to, increase your self-concept where you know your value and your worth. Remember, your self-concept is how you see yourself in general when it comes to love and relationships. So the stories that you have about yourself, you want to make sure, you have stories such as, I'm always worthy, I'm beautiful, I'm loved, I'm good enough, etc., etc. And then you want to make sure that you instill positive assumptions about your specific person that imply your end. Specific person loves me, we're in a happy, committed relationship. You want to be doing both. So if you're in no contact, use this as an opportunity to go all in, right? Because you don't have to deal with them not messaging you and then messaging you one day and all that hot and cold behavior shit. You can just really go all in with saturate your mind, let them show up like fully the version that you prefer, because you've become the version of you that has it, right? There is nobody else to change but self, because remember, your specific person is reflecting you. You change you shift into a timeline where that version of them always wanted to be with you, loves you, and adores you. It is that simple. So I hope it's clear as to why just because you're in no contact with your specific person, it really doesn't matter. And that's why I say circumstances don't matter. It is irrelevant because you are shifting timelines. That's why. Okay, you're going to be in a timeline where that version of your specific person, as long as you keep affirming your end, wants to be with you and only you. And you don't have to take any action in 3D. You can, but you don't have to. More often than not, when you really saturate your mind with the story, you don't even really feel the need to. You don't need to, but yeah, you don't need to lift a finger. They will come to you. And that's how manifestation unfolds. So that's why circumstances do not matter, because you are shifting timelines, right? You're literally shifting into a new parallel reality where this version of your specific person always wanted to be with you, always wanted to marry you. You were the only one for them. That is literally what is going on. And in the same way, you manifested the version of them that is in no contact with you, that doesn't want anything to do with you, or that rejected you. You manifested that too through your assumptions, through your old stories that you had, right? That said, SP doesn't want me, SP doesn't love me, SP distant with me, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. That your thought patterns created your current circumstances. In the same way, you just now want to change your thought patterns so that they are in your favor, to then create the circumstances that you desire or the manifestation that you desire. It's the same thing. You're doing the same thing, except now you're thinking favorable thoughts instead of unfavorable thoughts, okay? So if you're in no contact with your specific person, my message is it does not matter. Circumstances do not matter. As long as you think as if you're the version of you that has your specific person, everything will rearrange itself around you. Your subconscious mind has to produce proof of this to you in your 3D reality when your new story becomes dominant within you. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day or a wonderful evening. Mwah.